Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. Although we're a therapist, this podcast is not therapy and does not replace working with your own therapist. Everything shared here is for general education and conversation only.
Welcome to Two Anxious Girls. I am Dabi,
And I'm Christina.
and we're two therapists who spend 40 hours a week helping others navigate their lives and the other 128 hours wondering if we're doing ours completely wrong.
That is us.
Yeah, that is us. Today we're trying a different format, so let's see how it goes.
Let's see how it goes. How are you, Deb?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I think it's a beautiful day, which means that I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm looking forward to getting outside.
Yes, I cannot wait to get outside today. It is a beautiful day. The weather is finally shifting, and with that, so are our moods.
Mhm. Amen. Amen.
Yeah. So with that, should we dive into today's episode?
Yes. Let's see. What are we talking about? Tell us. What are we talking?
Well, today it's all about motherhood and that invisible load and the quiet spirals that many people don't talk about, that many moms don't talk about.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's that overwhelming feeling of maybe functioning on the outside, but internally you are 1 second away from crashing out, sobbing, spiraling.
Yes. Yes. Have you ever felt completely overwhelmed while also looking totally fine and functioning?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think often about having everything packed, having the baby's diaper bag packed. I'm dressed, she's dressed, all is well on the outside, but internally, I'm just a ball of anxiety. So, yeah, all the time.
Yeah. And then once you finally sit down at night, you just crumble.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, and that spiral turns into, "Why am I not happy? I'm so tired. Is something wrong with me?"
Yeah. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. It's just that you are carrying too much.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's talk about the invisible labor that no one talks about, especially when it comes to motherhood, the household responsibilities, family, having a new baby, and that transition that it's the happiest time of life, but also one of the most biggest transition that you will ever experience.
Absolutely. Yeah, that invisible labor of tracking schedules, anticipating a whole new human's needs, remembering everything else on the outside, remembering birthdays of loved ones, monitoring moods of your spouse and everybody else in your life, and that's all invisible, but internally, it's all going on all at one time.
Yeah, and you're thinking about all of these things that you have to do,
Mhm.
the household responsibilities, all the tasks, all the to-do list, all of the baby things, all of your things, all of your husband's things, your partner's things. It's a lot.
Mhm.
It feels like you are doing a lot of things, doing things, and you just become that default project manager for the entire house.
Yeah, the project manager, that term always gets me. I feel like that we should add that to our resumes, like our physical resume.
Of everything that we're doing. Yeah, it's a lot. You can be sitting still and still be carrying everything.
Mhm.
And as a new mom, Christina, would you mind sharing, only if you feel comfortable,
Mhm.
what feels heavier for you now as a new mom?
Yeah, I think what feels the heaviest is what we call the mom guilt, and as therapists, we hear that a lot, but dealing with it firsthand is a completely different experience. So, when I say mom guilt, it's really I mean, it's self-explanatory, feeling guilty as a mom for doing anything outside of the baby. Guilty for not being happy. When I was freshly postpartum and I was trying to manage postpartum anxiety and depression, not feeling happy would make me feel guilty. I just had this beautiful baby. How come I have to feel only happy? I can't feel sad. So that was a big thing that felt super happy. And then the identity shift. I am no longer just Christina. Now I am my daughter's mother, and that comes first, or that's what I felt at the time. I am no longer just Christina. I have a whole human, and my identity is no longer a non-mom, I guess. Like, now I'm a mom, and I have to care for this person that fully relies on me to eat, to go to the bathroom, to sleep, everything. So that was really heavy for me and really drove a lot of my anxiety.
How are you feeling now?
I'm feeling much better. I will say the first 4 months, I really struggled, and I wish more people talked about it because I felt so alone, and it was so isolating to feel so sad and feel guilty at the same time and feel happy at the same time. But I think once I got into my own therapy, once I went back to work, and once I accepted that it's okay to not be okay, I noticed a shift in my mood. I noticed a shift in my emotions, and I feel much better. Yes, do I struggle? I felt guilty yesterday, Dottie. It was a
Oh,
beautiful day, and my husband took the baby to his mom's house, and I felt guilty for not keeping her because I felt like it's a nice day. I should have taken her to the park. And instead, my husband was like, "Why don't you take the day to rest? I'll take the baby." So, yeah, I was happy, but I was still guilty. So it's like an ongoing cycle. It gets easier, it gets better, but it's still hard.
yeah. Well, I'm glad that you both are understanding.
Mhm,
He recognizes that you do need some time to yourself.
mhm.
And even though you did feel guilty, yesterday was just the first of many more beautiful days that we're going to have for the
That's so
next
true.
couple of months. So I know that you and Kai are going to be spending a lot of time outside, a lot of
Yeah,
time at the park. So it's okay. I'm glad that you had a day to yourself
me
because
too.
you need it.
Yeah, me too. And my guilty pleasures were all yesterday, which we'll talk about at the end, but I had so many yesterday.
I can't wait to hear all about it.
So many.
Should we talk about resentment and that resentment
S
that one develops once, especially when motherhood kicks
Mhm.
in, when things are heavier than expected, when everything changes? And because you are a caregiver, you are often told that you should feel grateful, that you should
Mhm.
feel fulfilled, that you should feel lucky.
Mhm.
And while all those things are true, as you mentioned earlier, there are also so many other emotions that one feels.
Yeah, absolutely. You can still love your family deeply and still feel that resentment. And I know for me, I felt so much resentment towards my husband because I feel like when we had our daughter, his life only changed for the better, and mine changed for the better at the same time. It was really hard. So that resentment would kick in when he would, go out and not have to plan, okay, I have to breastfeed this baby compared to me. I was working in 2-hour increments. I had to be home at this time. I had to be home at that time. So that resentment is such a big deal that again, nobody talks about, and it's quiet because you often keep it inside because then you feel guilty. Why am I feeling resentment towards my husband? It's so yeah, that resentment is definitely real and it's important to recognize and talk about.
Absolutely. And resentment and frustration often builds when someone, in this case, mothers,
Mhm.
continue giving while their own needs remain unrecognized.
Yeah, like rest or support or recognition or time alone. That's a big one. Time alone outside of the baby. And that identity outside of being a caregiver.
Absolutely. And resentment doesn't make you a bad parent. It usually means that you're depleted and that you need some space.
Mhm.
So your husband is slowly learning
Mhm.
the things that are important to you
Yeah.
because it is necessary and
Yeah.
only if it feels okay to share again. Have you had moments where you have needed more support than what you were getting?
Mm, I think for me, the only times that I probably needed more support than I was getting when I wasn't honest with myself and people that were asking. I will say that I was truly blessed in the support that I got from as big as dropping off meals. We had someone actually come to our house and stay with the baby overnight so that we could sleep. We had people come over so I could shower, like huge things like that. And then we had support that really meant the most to me. People checking in on me. You, Debbie, checked on me every single day throughout the day. And that was, I mean, support is support. For me, the check ins were so important. And I hope that whoever has a friend that might be a new mom, the biggest thing you can do is just check in and say, "How are you doing?" Because it could feel really isolating. So, yeah, I think the only times that I could have used more support was when I didn't vocalize, "Hey, I'm really struggling. I'm really anxious. I'm really sad right now. I could use some help." And a shout out to my husband. He went from not being able to not knowing how to change a diaper to now doing everything I can do and probably better. He always encourages me to go out. He always encourages me to spend time with friends, to do everything that some moms feel guilty for. So,
Mhm.
yeah, the power of a support system, it truly takes a village. We hear that term all the time, but I that is the truest thing I've ever heard. It takes a village to raise a child.
Yes, indeed. And also, what I heard you say is that it is important to be honest with yourself
Mhm.
and to speak, to speak up and to share what you're feeling and to not feel guilty. Even though the guilt is going to be present, it is important to talk about it, to talk about the guilt, the shame that one feels as a mom, and there then we can feel well, hopefully feel better and get the support that we need.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy to hear that your husband is incredible, and
Yeah.
he really is encouraging you to continue continue to live life as Christina. Yes, you are Christina
Mhm.
with your plus one, which is
Mhm.
incredible. Okay, plus two, you have a husband. But also to remember parts of yourself from before Kai.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, and just remembering that it's okay to not be okay. I felt so guilty for not being okay, and that's why I didn't ask for support. At the end of the day, if everyone was just honest and if we could realize, like, people want to help.
Of course. Yeah, yeah. I remember when I was texting you,
Mm.
I just didn't know what was appropriate, what was not appropriate. And I do understand that once you have your baby, only immediate family are allowed to visit to the hospital, take you flowers, this and that. And I was dying to see you, to see the baby. And I was like, okay, what's appropriate? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? So I just kept texting and just waiting for you to tell me, okay, you can come by.
Yeah, and you know what's funny, Dobby? If it was up to my husband, we would have 50 people in the hospital as I was giving birth. But looking back on it, I had such strict rules, which I now know was my anxiety. Yes, I wanted to keep her healthy and safe.
Mhm.
I probably could have, you know, what's the word? I could have been a little more
Flexible.
flexible.
No, but I understand as a new mom, you
Yeah.
do establish boundaries. It's to protect yourself and to protect the baby.
Yeah.
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 And if you were not ready, you were not ready.
Yeah. But I really do appreciate you reaching out, Dobby. And it's so important. It's so important to check in on your loved ones.
Yes, yes, indeed. Earlier, you were talking about the guilt that one feels. So, if we were to talk a little bit about that loop, that guilt loop,
Mhm.
how it shows up.
Yeah. I mean, it shows up for needing space, it shows up for feeling overwhelmed. For me, it really showed up for missing who I used to be.
Yeah,
That was a big one for me.
absolutely. And also guilt for enjoying time away, like you were
Yeah.
talking about yesterday,
Mhm.
not enjoying every guilt for not enjoying every single moment,
Mhm.
and guilt for being tired, tired of being needed. That's a big one.
Yeah. And I think it keeps us in that over functioning mode, right? Like if we feel guilty, we're gonna push ourselves harder.
Yeah, yeah. And guilt convinces you that you always need to feel exhausted
Mhm.
as proof that you care.
Mhm.
And again, Christina,
Mhm.
what do you feel guilty about as a new mom? That logically you know that you shouldn't.
Anything and everything.
Yeah, you've mentioned a
Um,
couple of things throughout this episode.
yeah, I think which I've gotten much better, but I think the biggest thing was just taking care of myself, and that was as small as taking a shower to as big as maybe going out with friends or getting my nails done. I remember this specific time that my baby was probably 2 months old, and my husband really was encouraging me to go get my nails done, and I thought that was the craziest thing ever, like, "I can't go get my nails done, what are you talking about?" But I did, and I remember coming home, and she was hysterically crying. Nothing that my husband was doing. Obviously, it's what we call the witching hour. It was like 5 o'clock, and she just wasn't happy. She was gassy probably,
Oh,
and I remember sobbing because I felt so guilty for going to get my nails done when my daughter was not having
a good time.
a good time. Looking back on that, I recognize that it would have happened with me there or without me there, but those are the moments that I felt truly guilty for. So, yeah, taking care of myself, but I was a part of a support group,
Mhm.
which I encourage all new moms to be a part of. And I remember that the first group that I joined was all about mom guilt. There were moms that were guilty for everything and anything. And I remember thinking, wow, I'm not by myself. I'm not alone. And that was super validating. Yeah, that was super validating.
It is. And it shows to the power of group therapy because
Mhm.
that is its purpose for you to be reminded that you're not alone. You're not experiencing this in isolation.
Yeah.
There's so many other people that are going through this.
Mhm.
And when it comes to motherhood, this is brand new. It was brand new
Yeah.
for both of you, for
Yeah.
you and your husband. So
Yeah.
I really do hope that you both continue to extend yourself grace
Yeah.
because you're both doing incredible. And this is something that is brand new. Brand
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
Kai, okay, she's 10 months old, but she,
She's still a brand new baby.
yes, she is indeed.
And one more thing, Dobby, that I felt guilty that I think is important, what we've talked about in the past, because I knew as a therapist about postpartum anxiety and depression, I thought because I knew about it, it wasn't going to affect me.
Mm,
So that was something I felt really guilty for because I thought, okay, Christina, you know that your hormones are going crazy. You know that like all this stuff logically, you know, as a therapist, like why were you still feeling sad? And then I reminded myself eventually, you are human,
mhm,
you are breastfeeding, which causes your body also to go all over the place. So that was something that I also felt guilty for.
absolutely. And that would take us to something that you mentioned earlier as well, which is the identity loss.
Mhm.
Just that shift that occurs once your baby human arrives.
Yeah, that identity shift, I don't think I feel like that really hit me like a ton of bricks. I didn't see
Mhm,
that coming. I didn't recognize how severe that was going to feel. And again, I don't think enough people talk about that identity shift and it's okay to kind of grieve your life. Like
mhm,
no one told me about that.
mhm. And that's the key word. You you can love parts of who you were before. You can love parts of life today. You can love it entirely.
Mm.
But as a new parent, it's okay to grieve that life that you had before, the life before children.
Yeah.
And that it's something that we, as you said, it's not talked about or said often.
Yeah.
And again, like we're always saying, two things can be true at the same time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But yes, there are so many things that we can miss.
Mhm.
The freedom, the impulsiveness, the mental space, the version of you that existed outside of being needed. That's
Mhm.
a big one.
Huge one. Yeah. Yeah, and grieving doesn't necessarily mean that you regret your life. It just means that you're human. And again, two things can be true.
Yeah. Christina, another vulnerable question for you, which I
Mhm.
know that we have made you the focus of our topic today, but you are a
Mhm.
brand new mom, so who
Yeah.
better than our own co-host? Why would we get someone else?
Yeah.
Okay, so another vulnerable question. As a new mom, do you ever find yourself missing parts of life before kids? I think I asked that question already.
Mhm. Did you?
Oh, well, maybe similar, but what do you miss the most?
I mean, I miss a lot. I miss I mean, I just miss simple things. I miss not having to plan everything.
Yeah.
I miss not having to think about, okay, I need to go to Target. Who's going to take the baby? Am I taking the baby? If I take the baby, do I need to bring a bottle? If my husband keeps her, things like that. So I really miss that. I miss being able to go out on dates with my husband again without planning. Are we taking Kai?
Hmm. Are we calling the
Are,
babysitter?
are we calling the babysitter? Do we have to drop her at your mom's house? Are my parents going to come over? So yeah, I miss those times. I remember a time, Davi, that I was watching American Idol with my husband because he was trying to make me feel better in a time of just depression.
Yeah.
And I remember asking him, "Are we ever going to hang out again?" And in that moment, I truly felt like I was never gonna hang out with my husband. So it's such an irrational thought and an irrational fear at the time of deep anxiety. That was my spiral. I'm never gonna have a life. I'm never gonna hang out with my husband. I'm never gonna hang out with my friends. I'm never gonna hang out with my mom again. And that really was my reality. Those were the spiraling thoughts that I would constantly think about.
It's normal to feel that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I remember I texted my cousin who her son is maybe a month younger than my daughter, and I asked her, "Do you ever find yourself looking at pictures before your son?" And she said she couldn't even do it
Yeah.
because it's sad. It's sad. It's happy and it's sad. So it is real, and I sound like a broken record, but we need to talk about it more to normalize it.
Absolutely, because mom spirals are more often than not, and that is the main issue that they just don't. Well, I don't want to say they, but moms have a fear of not voicing what they're experiencing.
Yeah. Yeah, they're often silent.
They're silent because you're still functioning, you're still showing up, you're still getting things done.
Mhm. Yeah, and those high functioning people are very, very good at hiding burnout. As we discussed, I think that was our second episode where we talked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we will want to ask you a little bit more questions, if
Cool.
that's okay with you.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Christina,
Mhm.
what do you wish more people understood about the stage of being a new mom?
People in general or moms?
Let's focus on moms, but I also feel that it's important for people in general to know. So if you want to answer it in two different ways,
Yeah.
because as you mentioned earlier, what you experience as a new mom,
Mhm.
it's something that most of us cannot even imagine. And we might not show the empathy and respect that it deserves.
Yeah.
That's what I've heard you saying throughout this episode.
Yeah. Yeah, I think well, I'll answer how about I answer for everyone and then maybe advice for new moms? Is that fair?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for everyone, I wish that people just recognize that it's hard and it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think oftentimes I hear people have different opinions, which is fair. At the same time, just recognizing that one person might struggle and one person might not, and they're both okay. And everybody has a different take on motherhood. And just checking in on new moms. If I could go back in time, Dobby, and check in on every single new mom that I knew, I feel I feel guilty about that because I truly, truly didn't recognize the severity of it. And I wish what's that saying? I wish I knew then what I know now.
Yeah.
Because I would be calling people, texting people, dropping off, you know, food and whatever. So I wish more people knew that it is hard. That is it. That it is hard. That's all.
Yeah.
And then for new moms or even, moms who are thinking about having a baby, I would give the advice of everything is temporary. And if you feel like you're in the thick of whatever you are in the thick of, it is temporary and it passes and it's okay to not be okay
Yeah.
and ask for help. And there are better days to come.
Yeah.
I look back on my postpartum anxiety and I'm so proud of myself because I've come such a long way. I feel like I'm truly thriving. I'm so much happier. I feel so confident as a mom. But back then, I didn't think I would ever feel better. And in society, there's such an expectation to be like the best mom. And there's all this pressure on breastfeeding
Mhm.
and wake windows and having your baby nap at a certain time and incorporating sensory play. And there's all this pressure. And I wish new moms could just know that your baby's a new human.
Yeah.
They're not a robot
Yeah.
and they're going to be okay. You show them love and you show up how you show up
Mhm.
and they're resilient. So they mold to whatever you're going to show them. So I wish that I hope and I wish that new moms can recognize that everything is temporary. Your experience is your own and it will be okay. And if it's not okay, seek help.
Yes.
I'm in my own therapy and I recommend therapy to everyone, not even moms, everyone.
Yeah.
I think we all can benefit from it.
Absolutely. We're also are in the business of therapy, so we do
Yeah,
believe in it.
I hope so.
And we do encourage everyone to seek therapy. And
Absolutely.
that was great advice. And thank you so, so much for being so raw and honest and sharing your experience with us
Of course.
because more moms do need to hear that and more people need to hear that.
Yeah, I agree.
Thank you so much. And with that, we got through it.
We did it. I didn't cry.
You didn't cry. But oh my gosh. Again, thank you so, so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
So we will transfer to what we love the most. And I cannot wait to hear how was your weekend, which was all about self-care. So what
Yeah.
were your anxiety wins and what were your guilty pleasures?
My anxiety when let me think. I want to think of one motherhood related.
It's okay if it's not.
I think, oh, well, my anxiety win. So let's just say that I'm still a work in progress. So I still have a little anxiety around my daughter's bedtime.
Mhm.
Uh, because I want her to get her rest. It's good for her brain to develop. But we hung out with friends this weekend and she went to bed a little later than usual and she was okay. She still slept and she still woke up on time and she wasn't cranky. So that was a huge win for me. letting her go to sleep a little later.
Yes.
And my guilty pleasures?
Yes.
My guilty pleasures. I have a few this weekend. I went to dinner with a friend and we got frozen yogurt and we got like a lot of toppings. That was a guilty pleasure. Then I went to Costco
My favorite place on earth.
and I have a confession to everyone. I now shop at Costco. That's how I know that I'm old.
Welcome to the club.
I shop at Costco. So I went to Costco and I got some clothes and it was fun. I got this really comfy pajama set. And that was a huge guilty pleasure because I don't know. Again, I spoke about this last time or previously that I always have a list when I go to
Shopping.
stores. Yeah. But I just went to Costco with no list and it was fun.
I
So
love that.
yeah, those are my two. What
Those
about you?
were, it sounds like a quite successful weekend, and I'm so glad that you experienced that.
It was fun.
Welcome to the Costco Club.
Thank you.
I've been shopping at Costco since age 27, so that's why I do feel middle-aged.
Yeah, I understand more.
I love Costco. Yeah, I feel that all of life answers, you can find them at Costco. And that's no joke. No, like seriously, that's no joke.
And this is not an ad for Costco.
No, it's not. Okay, so my anxiety wins this past weekend. Try not to spiral about health anxiety.
Hmm. That's a big one, Debbie.
Yeah. Try not to spiral about health anxiety, just focusing on solutions, breathing through this journey, staying present.
Mhm.
And guilty pleasures. I also, this past weekend, we were talking about how beautiful the weather is in the East Coast. Finally, winter broke.
Thank God. Yeah.
And yeah, I had my first ice cream of the season,
What flavor?
cookies and cream. It's not my go to, but I did have cookies and cream because the mom and shop, the mom and pops creamery shops around my neighborhood, they still haven't opened.
Mm.
So I did have ice cream from a shop that had all the regular flavors, but still, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I had that. It was so delicious. It was so good. And during the spring and summertime, I usually have ice cream at least once a week.
I love that for you.
Thank you so much. Well, and I love it when we go together.
I know. Isn't that so fun?
Can't wait.
I don't know about you, Dobby, just quickly. I hate when I want to get ice cream and my husband says that he doesn't want to, but I can get it. It's not the same.
It's not the
You
same.
need to have ice cream with a friend.
Yeah, you need companionship when it comes to ice cream, but I'm also okay with getting my own ice cream.
Yeah, at the end of the day, of course.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if we have to, we have to. But I do agree with you that it's so nice when you're doing it with someone else. My husband most of the time doesn't want ice cream, but yesterday he did. So it was nice that we had it together.
That's really sweet. That's a nice bonding moment.
Yes, indeed. With that, should we wrap it up?
Yes. Let's.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining today. Just please remember that humans are not designed to raise children in isolation, and life since COVID has shifted tremendously.
Yes. And caregiving was meant to be communal, shared, supported.
And struggling doesn't mean that you were failing. It means that you are doing a collective job alone.
You don't need to earn rest. You don't need to earn support. And you for sure do not need to earn being a full person outside of your baby.
Yes. Just know that you are human experiencing the most valuable stage of your life. It's so beautiful.
And if you love your family and still feel overwhelmed at the same time,
You're not alone. You're not alone in that emotion. You are not failing.
and you're likely 99% sure carrying invisible weight.
Yeah. And you deserve support carrying it. We'll continue to talk more about motherhood and postpartum anxiety in our next episode. So thank you so much for listening. Thank you for staying with us. This was a little bit longer than usual. And if this conversation resonated with you, please follow, subscribe, and rate us wherever you get your podcast. And share with a friend who needs this. So thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.